forsake me, oh my darling. On this hour, if I'm a man,
Interesting facts about famous people.
Which actors played in the most westerns? Have you ever wondered who the most prolific western actors were? Today we will look at hard-working, leading western actors who have appeared in 20 or more western movies, not TV work. I'm throwing in a few favourite character actors as well, credited roles. If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Let's get into it. Gabby Hayes, 141 westerns. George Francis Gabby Hayes was an actor. He began as something of a leading man and a character player, but he was best known for his numerous appearances in B-Western film series as the bewhiskered, cantankerous, but ever loyal and brave comic sidekick of the cowboy star Roy Rogers and John Wayne.
Tell you about the time I drove 26 miles to Lawrence, Kansas in the blistering heat just to get a freezer full of ice cream for your grandma when we was courting?
The ice cream would have melted if it was blistering hot, Grandpa.
Melted? Why, Johnny, the weather was so changeable in Kansas before I got halfway back to the house.
Terence Hill, 20 spaghetti westerns. Known for They Call Me Trinity. Trinity is still my name. My name is Nobody. And many more.
See me better now?
I wish I'd never seen
Before it hit the floor.
Which means you ain't going nowhere. Staying here with your Indian friends for good.
The next one might hit a couple of inches lower.
Who are you, anyway?
Me?
Henry Fonda, about 20 westerns. Some westerns he is known for. The Tin Star, My Name is Nobody, How the West Was Won, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Kind of trick.
Lee Marvin, 20 westerns. Known for The Professionals, The Comancheros, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
I want to know everything he does, Pete. Phone calls, mail.
In the meantime?
In the meantime, I crowd him a little. See he's got any iron in his blood.
Johnson, we've got a bad situation out here. I have a bunch of savages out here just aching to splatter you all over the place. They don't want your side told. Now, if you don't come in with me, that's all the excuse they'll need.
Nobody's going to hurt you. Just hold quiet. No one's going to do you any harm.
My Monty Walsh, cowboy, born in 1843, died when he had to. Don't ask if he was real, because he was as real as the weather.
I ain't interested. I'm afraid you'll have to be. They've given up on the Slash Y. For the time being, they want to fence in all their land. That's all. That's going to be a lot of fun.
They moved to Silver the summer I was first able to walk.
And Mr. Stride, is he from Silver, too?
The sheriff, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. He was the law there for 12 years.
Was?
Yeah, they held an election back last fall. Sheriff, he run. But he wasn't much at kissing babies.
What's that supposed to mean? Well, it must have knocked some of your brains out.
Or let some in.
Well, what happened back there? What changed your mind?
James Stewart. 20 Western movies. Famous for The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Winchester 73, The Broken Arrow.
For days I climbed higher into the mountains in which the Apache stronghold was hidden.
Texans coming up here with wages in their pockets. Well, they haven't been coming up as much as they have been. And if this kind of stuff keeps up, they won't be coming at all.
Bless my soul. 51.
Now, Major, you were the last one to shovel that deck. Where's that card?
Life in this immense human saga of the American West. James Stewart is the mountain man.
I'm a horse and took off to find you.
And what did my colleague in Creed say?
Examine me and I'll tell you.
You don't trust me.
Charles Bronson. 20 Westerns. This tough, no-nonsense actor was known for Once Upon a Time in the West, The Magnificent Seven, Chato's Land, to name a few.
You can never know what's in a Apache's mind.
Heard one night call my name?
Yes. You are Ukute, the shooter. The one who killed Whistler, the peacemaker.
There was another time. I was young, headstrong.
It was a bad thing.
Our fathers are cowards.
Don't you ever say that again about your fathers, because they are not cowards. You think I'm brave because I carry a gun? Well, your fathers are much braver because they carry responsibility.
Glenn Ford. 25 Westerns. Known for Cowboy, 3:10 to Yuma, The Man from Colorado.
The cockroach. Well, what makes you think you'd like to go trail to him, huh?
Well, right on time.
I won't have to wait.
There's still time to get out of this, Dan. There's still time.
You talk too much.
I'm going to marry Carolyn a week from today. Don't try to stop it. Don't try.
Oh, you can't marry her the way you are. You can't do that to her.
Get out of here. Get out!
Oh, stop it, Owen. You're acting like a crazy man. You, Owen. Let you go on being federal judge. I was wrong. There's
There's only one way to stop you, and that's to take the power of life and death away from you. Finish you.
What happened today will be all over Colorado. We've got a war on our hands. That's what it amounts to. Next thing to plain armed rebellion.
Gary Cooper. 30 Westerns. Best known for films such as High Noon, Friendly Persuasion, Man of the West.
You make me know all about Quaker ministers, but I know women. What a woman wants is a good firm hand and a strong voice.
Not Eliza.
Ah! Oh, madam, you just wait until you hear your husband when he seats himself at this concert.
Robert Mitchum. Around 30 Westerns. Known for El Dorado, River of No Return, Villa Rides.
What the hell are you doing here? I'm looking at a tin star with a drunk pinned on it.
Woo-hoo! How about that? That's good old Cole. Help me up out of here, Cole. Come on, just pull me right on up.
Cole? But today she was a woman in love, following her man through the most savage wilderness in all the Americas.
Call it the River of No Return. From here on, you'll find out why.
Good night, Jeff.
Good night, Ma.
All these trips to town tire me out.
Jeff. You know something?
What?
There's the moon out.
Audie Murphy. 33 Western movies. Known for No Name on the Bullet, Ride a Crooked Trail, Ride Clear of Diablo.
You fellas standing guard this way, old Spangler must be somewhere around.
Big as life.
What's he doing in Montana?
It's a nice town. Small enough to be comfortable, but large enough to have a future.
You seem to like it here.
A town worth living in is a town worth being proud of.
Luke the physician. You were well named.
Well, that's my father's idea.
Isn't shoot too bad once you get used to it.
Joel McCrea. 33 Westerns.
I'm Luther Sampson.
Best known for films such as Ramrod, Ride the High Country, Colorado Territory.
Well, I must say, Mr. Judd, I expected a much younger man.
You're having time, Mr. Carmichael. This is my road, and that's yours to the boat. And the lamb chop and wine saw.
Oh, lamb kidneys, ma'am. Only they don't seem so important now. Can't I see you home?
You'll miss the boat, Mr. Carmichael.
Well, aren't I ever going to see you again?
Please, I'd like to remember it.
Look who's here. And wearing a nice, shiny new badge, too.
Hey, Chip, where are you?
Right here.
I got 2 loads of buckshot pointing at you, boys.
Lee Van Cleef. 50 Western movies. Known for a Few Dollars More, Death Rides a Horse, The Big Gun Down.
If I'm a man of outlaws, then entirely at your own volition. Why, in Texas, you're more popular than Davy, one man who can do it all by himself. Rotten beast you are.
But what about you? They told you I was guilty, and right away you start running after. Didn't even ask if it was true or not. Everybody should be nice, and people should stop hating each other and let the beggars go free. And you'll find you had much more fun when you were the hunter.
Well, these steaks look... You cowhands ain't in no hurry to eat, are you? Well, are you?
I guess we could do with another drink.
Randolph Scott. 60 Westerns. What do you think his best Westerns were? Tall Tea, Ride the High Country, Ride Lonesome, Comanche Station.
Over Doc Wins and tell him what out.
Well, why don't you put it on and see how you're looking, huh? How's this, Phil? Well, the brim tips a little bit to the left, kind of. Yeah? Yeah.
John Wayne. 87 to 90 out of 180 acting credits over his career. Arguably, the Western role he was most famous for was in The Searchers, Red River, True Grit, the list goes on. If you like this video, make sure you hit the notification button so you will see my new videos as they come up. You can take a look at my channel to see all my other videos. The link is in the description. Take a look at my Facebook page as well. I appreciate likes, shares and subscribers. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Well, come to see a fat old man sometime. Yeah!
Roy Rogers, 102 Westerns, depending on how you count. Nicknamed the King of the Cowboys, was an American singer, actor, television host and rodeo performer, following early work under his given name, first as the co-founder of the Sons of the Pioneers, and then as an actor. The rebranded Rogers then became one of the most famous popular Western stars of his era. He appeared in numerous episodes of his self-titled radio program for 9 years, between 1951 and 1957. He was the host of the Roy Rogers Show television series. In many of them, he appeared with his wife, Dale Evans, his Golden Palomino, Trigger, and his German Shepherd, Bullet. Rogers is best remembered for his signature song, Happy Trails. Jack Elam, 58 Westerns, an American film and television actor, best known for his numerous roles as villains in Western films, and, later in his career, comedies, sometimes spoofing his villainous image. His most distinguishing physical quality was his misaligned eye. Before his career in acting, he took several jobs in finance and served 2 years in the US Navy during World War II. Elam performed in 73 movies and in at least 41 television series.
Go ahead.
Well, what'll I say?
Just talk to me. I want to hear you talk.
Well, if you'd quit prodding me with that...
I know.
Tom Mix, a film actor and the star of many early Western films between 1909 and 1935, appearing in 291 films, all but 9 of which were silent films. He was Hollywood's first Western star and helped define the genre as it emerged in the early days of the cinema.
Yourself, Randolph. But you forget that I have evidence enough to hang you. Yeah, but you'll never get the chance.
There's the real jail thing for you, Sheriff. See if you can let these fellas get away from you. What you got here? Well, I got a few horse thieves. No. Where from? I caught them over there on the Red Rock Reservation. I suppose you want a receipt for those fellas.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.